Eating your dinner, bear? Hey, buddy bear. Hey, boy. Shut. Shut. Good boy. The bear eating his dinner with his ball in his bowl. That's the pup. Getting a bit bigger. A lot bigger. Welcome to the mess. Welcome to the mess. To be honest, this is just a case of me showing you something that I'm up to at the minute. I started making sticks last year, just for a bit of crack, just for something to do, and that was the very first stick I made. Pretty basic, not too many round edges, all pretty square edges on and so on, and beach shank. I don't know whether you can see that or not, the light's fading. Beach shank. But I went on from there. I made this one. Next, this is mahogany, but the stick is huge. It's really heavy duty. My daughter has taken a shine to this one, and therefore she's now calls this her stick, which is I'm quite happy about because I don't think I would use it. It's so heavy. I made a smaller one. This is now my wading stick. I don't know what that is, ash or oak or something. Just a piece of a plank that I got. But it's definitely a hardwood. So that's that one. I got given an antler by a friend. It's a fallow antler. And I put that onto the stick, and that's a lovely lightweight stick that I got. And it's really nice to use. These aren't varnished, by the way. I use that stuff on them, Danish oil. And the Danish oil, if you put it on, let it dry, let it cure, naturally it comes up with that shine. The advantage is over the like of over the like of varnish is that if that becomes scraped or scratched or whatever, it's just a matter of giving it another rub with the oil, and it brings it up like new again. With a varnish, that it just isn't as easily done. What else have I got? That's another sort of trip style one, which I'm working on. It's not quite there. It's still a bit rough around the edges, needs a bit more finishing off, but it'll be fine. And again, it's on a hazel shank. I got some of these buffalo horn heads, and again, I'm working on this one. I put them on a nice dark shank. But this one isn't quite finished yet. I need to buff that up nicely. It's almost there, but the shank's good to go. It's nicely straightened with cartridge head on the end of it. Now, these ones. There's another antler one. Again, it's the same antler, same fallow antler. I'm going to put a wee coin or something into that, but I haven't done it yet. Last year I chopped wood for the fire with the chainsaw, and I looked out the window one morning after I had done it, and I saw this block of wood with nice grain in it, and I thought I'll try something with that. It wasn't terribly big, so I made this cleek out of it, and it's a little bit chunky, but to be honest I wouldn't want to go too much finer on it because the wood is quite light. I don't know what it is, but it's quite a nice ornamental piece, especially with that grain in the wood there. At the moment, my pride and joy though has to be this black is not horn or anything like that. It's bog oak. A friend of mine gave me a lump of bog oak, Irish bog oak. Now these trees are thousands of years old. Somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 years old, and they have lain in a peat bog for that length of time, and during that time, because the ground is so acidic, because the water is so acidic, they don't rot. The bacteria that are required to cause rotting can't survive. So what they do is they actually take on the colour of the peat. The peat gets drawn into the wood, and they become this black colour. They aren't that black colour before we start. If I show you a lump here, that's actually what it looks like when you lift it out of the ground, when you get it. It takes a long time to dry. In fact, the stuff I'm working on isn't quite dry yet. But if I turn that over where I've cut it, you can see the nature of the wood now. It's still not, whenever you work it, it's a grey colour. In fact, I'm working on a piece at the moment. I'll maybe show you in a moment. But once you oil it, once you put the Danish oil on it, it comes up that lovely black colour. That little duck head I did with a piece of scrap. This one here really is a keeper though. I'm not going to part with this one in a hurry. This is another market stick that I made, but this time it's bog oak. This time it is bog oak. And I'm in the process of oiling it up. I've been oiling it up for a few weeks. It really is very temperamental stuff. You might see some lines through it. The lines are where the wood was splitting as I worked on it. And I had to mix some of my epoxy resin with the sawdust that I was getting from it and try to fill in. There are splits all down there. And they're mostly invisible, but if you look carefully you can still see them. But regardless, the fact that that is from here, it's actually from where I shoot, and it is 7,000 years old. To me that makes it brilliant, really, really fascinating. So there you go, that's what I'm doing at the moment, and well, there's just another one, it's a bit of antler I'm topping with things. I have made a few, and to my surprise, I have actually sold a few. This is my latest bog oak venture. I'm trying to make something a similar shape to the buffalo horn, only with bog oak. You can see here where I've got the epoxy all over it. It was splitting like crazy when I started to work. In fact, it's splitting again in places. And as it splits, I fill it with the epoxy. And it makes it a very long, slow and drawn out process. There's another big split coming in it. But I think it's worth persevering, to be honest. I really like it. I love the history. I love the fact that it's so old. And I love the fact that it's from here and that I get a chance to work with it. So yeah, my firewood experiments continue as well. This is ash. There's a lump of firewood not that long ago, and that's another stick that I'm making for a family member, or as a handle. I'm going to put it onto some of these shanks here. My shanks are all, including these two, from the south of County Down, down near Dundrum, overlooking the mountains of Mourne, as you may know it. I have got a little place down there that I know very well, and I get all my shanks from there. These were cut last year, just about a year and a half ago, and they've been seasoned. They've been kept in storage for a year, and then straightened out. I did straighten them using the heat gun, and they're pretty much ready to use. So there you go, that's what I'm at the minute. What do I use for it? Well, this has been a great toy. One of Lidl's finest. Lidl, call it whatever you want. This little bandsaw, little hobby bandsaw. I built this bench to put it on. But this has been absolutely fantastic. It makes everything so much easier to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a little update of how things are going. There's the pup. The pup is coming on. Bear? Who's that? There he is. I know wee man. And I'll give you a little update soon about how this fella's getting on this training. He's getting on pretty well. He's getting on well, aren't you, boy? Good boy. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. Just one other thing to show you here, just whenever you thought you were getting away. This is a knife that a friend of mine made. I started to make it and didn't do very well at it, but a friend of mine finished it off for me. It is made from steel that used to be a pair of hedge clippers, but more especially they were my grandfather's hedge clippers. My grandfather was a steel worker in Glasgow, in the Gartcosh Steelworks, those of you who know it. But this was his, and I wanted to do something I could keep it with. So my friend made this blade for me. It's very, very sharp. He also blued with a bit of gun blue, the blade, to make it that darker colour. Hopefully you can see the darker colour. And this is burnt oak. Whenever he put the handle on, he singed that he burnt it all to give it that nice dark colour before he oiled it. Problem is, whenever he made that beautiful knife for me, and it is a beautiful knife, I had nothing to keep it in. So I came across this stuff. This is Kydex. Kydex is a thermoplastic which you basically mould in a press to the shape of whatever it is you want to keep. And I have pressed this with a belt loop in it so that I can keep it on my belt. It is moulded to the precise shape of the knife. It is ultra strong, absolutely no way that is coming out of there. And snaps in, snaps out. I'm going to put a few rivets on it as well, which might actually make it too tight in there, but I'll space them out well so we can get it in and out still relatively easily. But that Kydex really has finished it off nicely. Nice piece of black Kydex, a blued steel, a blade, and a burnt oak handle, and I think that's simply stunning. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I better clear up now. Look at the mess.